the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park, playing host to these 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Championships in Fort McMurray Wood, Buffalo. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Northern Alberta, where we'll be crowning a new Canadian champion in both men's and women's play here in Under-21 action. It's Andrew Denny alongside Brian Chick in the booth for you in our our opening draw here from Fort McMurray Wood, Buffalo. And great facility here, Brian. I think we're going to have a good week.
Yeah, this is a long week, and we're just about to get it underway with Ontario 1 playing against Newfoundland. And we've just had our pregame practices, and everybody's getting their last slides in. It looks like Ontario 2 rather, will have the hammer in the first.
Yeah, that last stone draw, so important here at the format of this 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Championships, as it is in most events in the modern age of curling. So many things being resolved by that last stone draw, so you know teams are paying attention to it. Gorgeous building here as we were on the arena side here for 5 sheets of action, and over at the Oil Sands Curling Club, which is actually within the same facility here at the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park, is 3 sheets in action over there and already underway. We're wasting no time getting started in our feature match here on Sheet C for Team Newfoundland. That's Liam Killen. And Liam, I really hope I'm saying that one right, buddy. Maybe Kinlan, I'm not sure.
You'll probably hear us rave about this building more than once this week. We're super impressed as we walk through. This place has everything: swimming pools, gyms, fitness centers, rock climbing walls, skating rinks, daycares, playgrounds, coffee shops. It is a massive facility, and looks like it's brand new too. So everything's pretty accessible here, and we're happy to be here in Fort McMurray.
Yeah, first time in Northern Alberta, and enjoying our time so far. Long trip over from Fredericton, as I'm sure that most of you were watching. That's Evan Medor delivering. We were live on scene and bringing the broadcast to you from the U Sports and CCAA Curling Championships, as well as the mixed doubles, where Team Manitoba's Colton Locke took home the top prize. Congratulations to the Lots. Corner guard going up here from Medor. That's well done. Right on top of that New Holland logo, our title sponsor.
Being the U21 championships, these games are scheduled for 10 ends, which will be a different pace than what we saw of last week in 8-end mixed doubles games.
Kinlan now. His second stone here in the first. Yeah, fever pace of those mixed doubles games gives way to the 4-person game here on Curling Canada Plus, where you're tuned in. Evan trying to draw the wing there. Pulls up a little light. Lead stones here for Ontario 2 is Colson Flemington.
Start knifing it. Yeah, keep knifing it. Keep knifing it.
Trying to get some extra curl out of this stone. It looks a little heavy, though.
Colson is 17 years old and works at the Oakville Curling Club as an assistant ice tech.
Hey, good place to learn.
Which means he's being tutored by one of the best in Scott Foster. He always makes great ice, super fast, lots of swing, and Oakville is known for their excellent surface.
Definitely big shout out to Scott Foster. Played on his surface on many, many occasions. And he's one of the dandies there in Ontario. Jack Kinsella now, he's playing second stones for the team from the Remax Center St. John's Curling Club as he fires here in the first end.
Line good, guys. Line good. It's right here. Okay. Just like that.
And another guard goes up right on top of that New Holland logo. Both these teams not finding the house as of yet.
I'll give you a light kick immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, first end of the first game. They had a pre-game practice or event practice earlier today. Some of them would have been on the ice as early as 8 o'clock this morning, and you get a few minutes on every sheet, and then quick break, and you're back on for the ice for a game. But they would have had a pre-game practice too, so I think they would have dialed it in a little bit closer by now. But the surface changes, and that's part of the challenge.
A lot of nerves too. Nathan Kim makes no mistake though. Look at that. That's a great shot.
That was just good communication. They talked about that before the shot was thrown. What kind of weight do you think you were throwing, and what do I need to throw to make this? And they clearly agreed on the right answer.
Parker Tipple is skipping this Newfoundland and Labrador rink, and he's got the broom down for appeal. That's Jack Kinsella there. No mistake. Shot stone does belong to Ontario Tier 2. And skipping this Ontario 2 rink out of the KW Granite Club in Waterloo is Tyler McTavish. And he seems satisfied with the results in the house. He's just going to throw another guard. That is Nathan Kim delivering, I can assure you. We're running a little bit of a shoestring crew here as some of our IKS staff got snowed in on the East Coast, trying to travel all the way up here to Northern Alberta. That's the reality of a tight turnaround. Sometimes it happens, so we're making it work here for you.
And we should note that on our schedule, we did advertise that it was going to be 2 sheets of streaming. We'll give you the showcase game on sheet C, but that there will also be a live stream available for sheet D. That is not the case today, but should be in effect tomorrow night as the rest of the crew shows up, and we'll get that broadcast online for you too. Now Spencer Tibble looking for the run back, just misses wide. 3 of the 4 of these Newfoundland and Labrador teams have played together at the Canada Winter Games recently in 2023. The exception being lead Liam Quinlan. But he's no experience at this level of play, having skipped at the Canadian U18s a couple of times.
So valuable, that experience. That's Evan Medor.
Looking just to replace that guard.
I like the tractor in the ice. That's a nice touch.
Great scrub there from the Ontario boys. Just needed that to finish, and I think they got it up enough that at least that rock's partially covered.
Yeah, plenty of room there for Newfoundland and Labrador to play this on the clockwise side. Still got to deal with that guard. And we'll see how this ice is running. That's Spencer Tipple. He's taking care of the third stones here for Team Newfoundland and Labrador.
Just sneaks it by the guard, lets it finish up. Little hit, little roll, and does he get the jam? Just unlucky there with the backing.
Nice roll, though. See how, ooh, yeah, that's dead buried.
It's a pretty high guard, though, so you should be able to get around it with, say, backline hack weight.
And that broom sure looks like backline hackish.
I might be tempted to throw the other turn here to run that red away from that yellow hanging in the back 12.
Yeah, you'd hate to jam. Ontario 2 with hammer here in the first.
This is curling a ton. Calling plan B, looking for the run back.
Ooh, wow. Maybe a smidge light as well.
Yeah, I don't think that just didn't have the weight that they were looking for.
Shot stone belonging to Newfoundland and Labrador.
Unfortunate for the Ontario team there. They actually left another guard to deal with, but that one's pretty short and maybe an easier run back.
Still could be accessible on the clockwise side too if you throw a really perfect weight. Big finish on that side so far. But a golden opportunity now for Newfoundland and Labrador to lie two without hammer.
6 feet lighter on your driving button. I like edge 8. Sorry, no? 6 feet lighter on your driving button. Okay, let's make it. Let's do it. A little more.
Parker Tibble. His first here in the first end. I think he forgot to activate the stone. It's okay. Wasn't even close to the hog line, so all's well that ends well. He's got a good shot cooking here if this can find some curl.
Perfect weight, well managed, well swept all the way down. That is a peach.
Great shot.
It's pretty precise for the first end. Yeah. Like, I need to try to open it up. I mean, if you hit over the top, you always open it up. Try to get this. Yeah, I think so too. Hit that one like there, yeah? Just almost nose on that one. Okay, you just don't want to jam up backwards. I mean, yeah, you got it. You got it, Tyler. I really like that. Yeah.
Tyler McTavish, Ontario skip, going to play the run back, maybe double if it's just right, but I think they'd be happy just to open it up and maybe make contact with one of the Reds in the back.
yeah, you make that double. That is out of this world good for the first end.
I'm kind of nervous, I don't know why.
McTavish, his first.
Big weight coming here. Sweeping to hold it straight. Looks close. Just over curls by an inch. Had to hit that anywhere on the high side and just over curled past center. So close to being really good.
Yeah, shooter didn't stop in a spot that's going to help him either, unfortunately.
I like my curl. I think maybe not enough edge.
Looking like it's go time here for Team Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah, Tipple and friends are going to try to turn the screws a little bit and put a bit of pressure on Team Ontario. Make them face two with not a lot of good options in the first end.
A tad bit more. Yeah, we'll finish there. I had a 434 on last time. Yeah, 434. Yep.
434.
That is a quick, or a slow split time, which means fast ice.
Tipple second here in the first.
It can't be a one, so you gotta go for the weight. You gotta curl.
Pleading for some kind of curl. Looks like they're going to get it.
Kinsella just trying to push it across the center line, and I'd say that's a job well done. No easy way to get at the redstone on the side of the button, so you will see Ontario 2 trying to draw to a good chunk of the pin.
You like that ice?
Gonna have to play real close to that guard.
Yeah, if you just skinny by the center line guard there, you might be able to use that other red as backing. Might be able to tap it an inch if you throw back 4 weight. Got to be pretty precise here, though.
So facing 2 Newfoundland and Labrador counters, it's Tyler McTavish. Final stone in the first, looking for a single.
Line looks pretty good. Does it have the legs to get there?
Really close. You can drag it, you might get second shot. Not going to be. Steal of 2 on the board for Team Newfoundland and Labrador. They lead by a deuce. We'll bring in the second end after this.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Core Community Leisure Center here at McDonald Island Park for this, the 2024 Canadian New Holland Under 21 Curling Championships. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are in our feature match here. It's 2-0 in favor of Newfoundland and Labrador over Team Ontario 2. A little bit of bad luck there for Ontario 2. They had a draw there potentially for a single, but nothing doing. Pulled up a little bit short. But full credit to the team Newfoundland and Labrador for putting the pressure on. Corner guard goes up on behalf of Ontario 2.
It's a loud building here with 5 games going on this particular arena. There are 3 going on just across the hall in the Fort McMurray Oil Sands Curling Club, which looks like a lovely facility for a curling club, but they're only using 3 sheets over there.
Pile of curling sheets on that side of things as well.
Lots of fans from all over Canada here. You see every color combination or provincial crest and flag looking up and down the bleachers here, and I expect that crowd will grow as the week goes on.
Yeah, tickets are still available if you're in the Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo area and you want to make the trip out. Heck, you could play a game of squash when you're done, or some badminton, or go ride the water slides.
Ping pong, they had big table tennis set up.
Yeah.
Let your kids off at daycare or the playground. This place has everything. Basketball,
volleyball.
a library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about the library.
All part of the same complex here at McDonald Island Park.
And we haven't even seen the whole building yet. Jack Kinsella, second stones here for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Over curling a little bit. Nudges the yellow, but not able to remove it. And maybe the fact that he over curled that much was a bit of a blessing. If he hits it a bit thicker, he loses the red.
Opportunity now for Team Ontario 2 to lie to, even with this corner guard.
You heard the call was a 10. That'd be a 10-second takeout, which is a nice control weight. Should be able to manage it a little bit with the brooms. Trying to help it curl a little bit, and now they change their mind. Trying to hold it straight.
Right on the nose. Pretty tailor-made for a double here. Tipple is second. Nicely done. That's the price you got to pay if you're Team Ontario if you want to bring that corner guard into play, and they'll have that chance on this hit and roll attempt. Ethan Kim now. Apologies, Nathan Kim. Only read a couple hundred names this year, Brian. What's one mistake, eh?
If that was the only one, then we'd be doing all right. But
yeah.
Gets the hit and the roll. Not quite enough to be buried, though.
Dragging play over to that corner guard, however, and you see Newfoundland trying to take that opportunity away with a roll away now. Spencer Tipple. Taking care of third stones here for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Crossing the face a little bit. They might get the roll.
They'll roll low. See how buried this is. Edge on edge at best. It's Evan Medor, his first, here in the second end.
Playing a little bit softer weight here, trying to get a little bit more curl to get under that corner guard. They sneak it by. Ooh, that was tight. But they will get the roll, and it sits in a pretty good spot.
That's nice. Yeah, run that one back. Woo! Razor thin past that yellow guard, and there's a shot of Evan.
I think it's safe to say on what we've seen so far, there is some definite curl on this particular ice surface. These rocks nice and sharp and can manipulate around the guards.
You'll love to see it.
Straight peel there from Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah, give us like a foot, 2 feet more than you usually do, okay?
Here comes Evan Medor, who is a chemical engineering student at the University of Waterloo. just trying to split the house, spread those yellows out as far as possible, and I would say that's a pretty good job of that.
It's normal. Just normal? Yeah. Like even 10. Even 10.
Now facing the dreaded Junior Deuce.
Everybody's favorite, right, Brian?
Yeah. If you can split the house with nothing else in play, then as long as everybody makes their shots, you're not giving up two. The light was flashing red, but it was flashing red before he let it go, so
yeah, no problem on this stone.
I can guarantee you that was not a hog line violation, but many of these young curlers probably haven't played with the sensor handles before, and there's a sequence that you have to do to activate the handles. It usually involves turning it over while you clean it. And if you're not turning it over far enough, that never gets activated, and sometimes the handles misbehave.
Yeah, and some teams will trust the front end to actually clean the skip stones for them, so that can throw off the activation process as well. Not sure if that's the case here, but
No, it was same as when I shot the bottom. Yeah.
really you should clean your own rock regardless. Part of the pre-shot routine. Tyler McTavish, also flashing red.
Just need to drag this one far enough to touch the top of the house, and apparently it was that burnt?
They said it was picking. I don't know if that, not sure.
They were calling top 12, which would have been good enough weight.
Must have been burnt.
Yeah.
Trajectory looked fine.
Yeah, it didn't look like it took any extra turns or lost its momentum. It was just, sometimes those brooms get a little sticky, or your buddy whacks your broom and you whack the rock or something like that. So it does happen. You try to avoid it, but certainly part of the game. Little bonus opportunity here now for Newfoundland. They were looking pretty cornered into giving up a 2.
Yeah, they'll be happy to get out of trouble here. As Parker Tipple delivers. On the nose. Good news, bad news for Team Ontario 2. Good news, they have a blank opportunity. Bad news, well, it was looking pretty good for a 2 already this end.
That's the thing with the Junior Deuce. Once you have it set up, you need every shot to be made. And when you get a 0 on the board, no matter how it comes about, that will take away the opportunity.
Final stone in the second.
Tyler McTavish looking for the blank. Trying to make it curl. Gets just enough of it to send it out the side door.
Nicely done there. Blank on the board. We'll take it the third after this.
Nutrien Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seed ahead.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park. Here, playing host to the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our feature matchup between Team Ontario 2 and Team Newfoundland and Labrador. Andrew Denny alongside Brian Chick for you in the broadcast booth. This is the opening draw here from our 2024 Under-21, New Holland Under-21 Curling Championships, I should say. And so far, Newfoundland and Labrador leading by a deuce by way of a steal in the first end. Ontario 2 blanking, and, well, we'll resume action here in the third.
The first game of many in this national championship. We'll have another one later tonight, and then 3 draws a day until next Sunday.
It's a lot. But we'll have a rotation of special guests here in the booth for you on behalf of Curling Canada Plus, so you won't be stuck with Brian and I for the foreseeable future like you were in the last 2.5 weeks of curling. Get a little variety going. That's Colson Flemington taking care of lead stones here for Team Ontario 2.
Yeah, there are 18 teams in this men's event, split into 2 pools. So in your 9-team pool, everybody will have 8 games, and then we'll worry about the playoffs.
Corner guard goes up just underneath that New Holland logo. Get the clicker out. How many times are we going to say New Holland this week, Brian? I'm going to say close to 1,000.
I'd have to do some math. 10 ends a game. Welcome back. We're at the New Holland, plus on the New Holland logo. So it's probably going to be 25 times a game times I don't even know how many games. So that might be a good guess.
Well, I'm going to talk about that tractor in the ice enough, so I really like that. That looks sharp.
Well, your sponsors really get their money's worth when you can drop a rock right on their logo. Right between the New Holland sign and the New Holland tractor. And how about Fort McMurray 468 Economic Development?
All our sponsors are just wonderful. Newfoundland Labrador shot stone in the interim here in the third end as they lead by 2. Ontario 2 with hammer, however, in this spot, and they're going to be chasing.
I was about to call it an in turn, but he's left-handed, so that's the out turn. We'll just call it the clockwise one.
That's Nathan Kim.
Nathan Kim studying math in university, according to his personally completed bio.
Chaps off the guard.
Players had the opportunity to share interesting facts, and that, and he plays the piano.
Nice. Amazing how many of these curling athletes are multi-talented people. Musicians, artists, tradesmen in waiting. Jack Kinsella now. His second.
Looking to rip some of those guards out of the way. Don't give Ontario 2 anything to play with.
Rip indeed. Successful in that attempt.
Going back to your other point, there, a lot of these bios say, I went to a national championship for a different sport, or I played an instrument at a particularly high level. Although one of my favorites, I'm not going to say who it was, says as his interest, he's a below average golfer. And I think I can relate to that.
Absolutely. Modest as ever. Ontario 2 fighting to get some curl, but they'll settle for a nose hit. Wide open house here in the third. That's Spencer Tipple. Tending to third stones here for Newfoundland and Labrador. Beaks it. That rock crawling its way up the house, stone by stone, it would seem. Still an opportunity for Ontario 2 to use that tight corner guard. Or you could do that too.
I like this call still. I'd play the takeout at this point of the game. You're not desperate enough that you have to really go crazy. These are 10-end games, and they will go on for quite a while. So just because you're down 2 at this point doesn't mean you need to be taking on too much risk.
Yeah, you hit this. Blank's still in play as well, so I like that better. It's Evan Medor, his first. Past the tractor.
Trying to make it curl. Trying to get a little roll under that corner guard. They got a bit of roll, but not enough.
Very close. Easy to forget is still the opening draw here, these 2024 New Holland Under-21 championships. So a lot of these players still getting acclimated, and a lot of the skips will be a lot more confident in where they want to place the broom and how the sheets will change as the game progresses. Tipple now, his second.
Going hard on it for line, trying to roll it back towards the center to make that corner guard a little less likely to come into play.
Very nice. Yeah, the fight to get that back to the center line for Team Newfoundland and Labrador is making its way. It did roll a little bit. Looks like Ontario's going to change gears here, though. I'm okay with a blank if I'm Team Ontario too right now.
I totally agree. And the thing with the draw is that unless you make it perfect and you get a miss, you're still probably going to be forced into taking one where blanking or playing the hit and roll, eliminating other scoring rocks gives you a better chance for the blank.
We'll see what the result begets.
It's one of those, it's a great shot if you make it.
Just like every curling shot, right? And they're going to lose the line on this, and it stops as a center line guard. Ooh. A little scarier now for Ontario, too.
I don't think it's something to overthink. I think we have to go here. We have to make the top.
And it's quite a tantalizing morsel if you can get around that and sit right on top of that New Holland logo on the button. Boy, howdy, are you ever cooking.
Yeah, I heard Parker say, let's not overthink this. Yeah, there might be a double there if you make it really, really perfectly. But the fact is he's going to make a double and hopefully try to stick around. But if you can put this, it doesn't even have to be top button, but top 8 with a chunk buried, it becomes a lot smaller of a scoring area, and Ontario is going to be in a little bit deeper hole.
Parker Tipple now throwing the 7-8 brick for Team Newfoundland Labrador.
hard for line, and I think they squeeze it by. Oh,
yeah, all the way.
And actually over curls, comes out the other side of the yellow, but that makes that double even less threatening because now the angle for the roll is no longer lined up.
Oh man, that rocket's just going sideways.
I think you probably get a double and roll. Right? It's pretty lively if we throw a PO. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I like that. Oh, I like too. I think just important to get the double. Isn't terrible. Yeah.
Tipple and Team Newfoundland and Labrador was worried about lining up the double so he could roll behind the red way out on the wings. But he made it so good that he can almost make the straight back double and maybe get a roll under the center yellow.
And flip a corner.
Evan, it's slow in that spot, eh? I didn't think it was slow.
Yeah, cross low, just a shade.
Okay.
And they'll both go.
Because my draw was the same time as my draw.
It's thin, but it's there.
They gotta hit it just a shade low of nose, and he said he's gonna throw peel, try to get a flat roll.
That's tough to do. Convention says drop the weight to get the roll, but not in this spot. It's Tyler McTavish, his first in the third. Ooh, that's not going to do it for him, unfortunately. I think he just slid tight. Conversation time now for Team Newfoundland Labrador. Where are they going to place this?
Right there. If he sticks right there, he won't get shot. I like right here. Okay, go. Hey, worst come to worst, he has to make a triple. Like, I like that. I like my odds. Yeah, okay. I'll make it, huh? They have to make a triple. They gotta make a triple. I'm fine with that. I like to see where you go first. No, I like. We're running 5 feet left. You never guard. You don't give him the same draw. I think if he has to play a triple, he has to play a triple. I'm fine with that. Yeah, if he wants to play a triple, I don't care. So you're thinking top 12?
Sounds like they're talking about stop and top 8-ish, just biting.
You want to put it roughly even with the other rock that's just biting top 8, top 12. The point being that if you try to take on the double, then the other rock will still be shot. And then he says, yeah, if you want to try to triple, be my guest. It's for 1.
Yeah. Do you ever come frozen to the nose on the stone on the tee line?
I don't, again, one of those, it's perfect if it's made. The risk being there, you chip off and you make your target wider. He's got a pretty easy double for 1. If you make this even remotely close, he's going to be throwing against 3, and it will be a challenging shot.
Yeah, margin for error on this call much higher. Looks tight, however.
Doesn't have the weight. They've already called plan B. Just throw the guard, and that is a pretty effective shot too. Oh.
Did it stop in time? Overcurled a little, but
it's in the way. There's no double. There's certainly no blank. So you'll see Ontario take on the draw to the button, maybe move the backing just a little bit.
Yeah, you can bump that.
4-3.
Plenty of room to score here for Team Ontario, too.
I was thinking a positive 4-4, actually.
Tyler McTavish, final stone in the third, looking for a draw for a single.
Weight looks pretty close. Line looks pretty good. Will it stop? Get a little bounce off the red.
Absolutely rolls, covering the pin on the New Holland logo. A single on the board for Ontario 2. They trail by 1. We'll bring in the next end after this.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Back here now at the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park for the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our feature match here between Newfoundland and Labrador in Ontario, too. Already in the fourth end here as Newfoundland and Labrador leads by a single with hammer. It's Andrew Denny and Brian Chick on the call for you.
Great shot there from Tyler McTavish. Good team shot. Had to be swept and managed all the way down just to drop it on the button to score his single. Newfoundland left the door open a little bit by throwing that guard a bit short. And Ontario took their get-out-of-jail card and cashed it in, scoring a single.
Got to be able to make those if you're going to have hopes of going deep this week. And sometimes a little bit of luck doesn't hurt either.
Well, I'll tell you, that one wasn't lucky. That was just well managed and well thrown, well swept, and that was not luck. That was skill.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, luck helps.
Yep.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in on Curling Canada Plus. Thanks for your subscription and your eyeballs. We've also got the Canadian Wheelchair Championships happening in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan right now. Also available on Curling Canada Plus. So if you want more curling action in your life, we can definitely provide.
Plenty of curling left here. Satiate your needs.
Because if 3 games at the under-21s wasn't enough, you can tack on 2 more wheelchair and just basically stay tuned to your streaming device all week. Never have to close your eyes.
It's an incredible volume of curling, honestly. Double attempt there for Newfoundland and Labrador. Catches the second stone a little thin, and they'll punch it to the other side of the house.
Unfortunately, punches it right behind the corner guard, which makes it pretty inaccessible.
Shot stone belonging to Ontario 2 without hammer here in the fourth. They trail by a single. And already onto second stones. That's Nathan Kim, his first.
Sweepers jump it right out of his hand. They must think this is a little bit light.
Will it go? It's over the hog line.
20-second draw.
I'm sorry, is that a 20-second hog to hog? Holy moly.
Granted, it was a little bit light, but I think that's maybe the highest number I've ever heard when discussing a hog to hog time.
Wow. Well, there's another one for our weird bingo card, weird curling bingo card.
We had all sorts of interesting ones last week in Fredericton.
Oh, man.
Tied measures. We had burnt rocks. We had mid-game lineup changes.
Yeah,
basically,
true.
all sorts of Things that only happen every now and then, we had almost all of them. I'm sure we'll have a few this week as well. Hopefully no tied measures, though. That's no fun.
It's a lot harder to do in the 4-person game. That pre-play stone really tightens up the scoring area in mixed doubles play.
Do you like normal on this?
Newfoundland sinking one to the top of the button, slightly on the left of the center line.
We can play this too. Yeah, I like that too. Which one is
it? Looks like we're going to have our first coaches interaction.
That's Coach Tim Lindsay coming out, and we'll listen in.
If you're able to head in there, but yeah, anything showing them here on that side, even, you know, but it is a long curve, so actually he can hit it around there real easy. So if you're able to hit it, then that's ideal. It's a long curve. Okay, sure.
Which one do you like?
I like hitting those in the house if you're able to.
Hitting the one.
Hitting the one, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, hit and roll.
No, the red's higher for sure. I usually get close face. Yeah.
Coach suggests hitting the one in the 4-foot, which is easier said than done, I'm afraid. There's a pretty narrow port there, but it is makeable.
Yeah, it's tough.
Those coaches' interactions are limited 2 per 5 ends. And when one team calls it, both coaches are allowed to talk to their teams. Through the hole. And sticks around.
It's a good shot just to hit that stone.
That's a great shot. And stuck around. Look how close he is to this guard. Whoa.
And all that, plenty of curl too with that kind of weight. Yeah, he knows it.
A little body English on that one. But the important thing is, made the hit and stuck around for a second shot. So that was really well done.
Second coach's interaction now, and that's Jeff Thomas.
Any curling fan is familiar with that name and that face. He's been around for quite a while as a player, a coach, a 5th player, and notably a big part of Team Gushu's run over the last 20 years.
No, because then if we don't quite make it, he's just going to come in there. Now he's line 3, right?
Speaking of Brad Gushu, he's actually in Fort McMurray watching his daughter Haley play as part of the girls' team Newfoundland and Labrador. And we're spending a couple of days in the neighborhood before taking off for Sweden to compete at the Men's World Championship.
Gear change now here for Team Newfoundland Labrador. They're going to try and come around this pile.
No, exact same. We didn't touch it.
It's Jack Kinsella, his second, here in the 4th.
I think this is the right call, too. Those yellows aren't in any position where they're super threatening. You know, they're just outside the 8-foot, behind the tee line, or on the tee line at worst. They can't really be improved, but a good draw here can really kind of change the tide and put the pressure back on Ontario.
Hit the brakes just before the tee line. Very nice.
I think, unfortunately, they just put it back in the spot that lines it up through that hole that Ontario just negotiated, so they'll be looking to do the same thing again. They just saw this.
Yeah, there's a lot of curl in this ice. The exact same path. You'll get the nose hit this time instead. Evan Medor, his first.
Throwing a little softer weight this time. They can use some of the curl. Just a little too soft. Got a little more action on that than they anticipated, and ticks the guard, opens it up. So the drop pays off for Newfoundland and Labrador so far. I'm going to try to put that guard back in a better spot now.
Yeah, Newfoundland and Labrador having the hammer here in the fourth changes the complexion entirely. Otherwise, they probably would have been hitting one of the wing stones on their previous. That's Spencer Tipple. His first.
Hey, you gotta go straight for line. Straight for line. Where? Straight. Where? Straight. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Big scrub there by Jack Kinsella and Liam Quinlan. Over curled just a little bit. I think they're getting fooled a little bit on how much these rocks finish.
Yeah, these things are walking by the end.
It's almost impossible to take too much ice.
And as long as you don't throw it right back to the gutter, it will curl for you. Medor second now here in the fourth.
Nice soft weight takeout again. Sweeping to hold it straight, trying to squeeze by the guard here. It's coming up close though.
Ooh, just wicks off.
That was a few millimeters away from perfect, but unfortunately that few millimeters redirects enough that the rock goes through without making contact with anything else.
Heartbreaker. Oh, yeah, he knows it too. Plenty of emotion on every single rock out here at these national championships.
Okay, we're a little tight.
That's how we like it. Let your colors show. Tipple looking to replace that guard now.
And I would say that is mission accomplished. Back to the center line, and really there's no access. Well, the way it curls, there might still be some access to that button, but it has just become a little bit more difficult.
I mean, this is what you do in your draw, right? The button. Freeze. Oh, yes, yeah. Sure, back to us. Right here. Back forward. Tap it back a little.
McTavish got the broom down. It looked like he's going to tap it just a smidge.
Yeah.
As we were just saying, I think that shot is certainly there. If you throw the right weight and get somewhat close to that guard, it will curl up to that red on the button and beyond. I think you could probably overbury this one if you throw it just right.
Yeah. McTavish, his first here in the fourth end.
Jump it, jump it, jump it, jump it, jump it, jump it, jump it.
This one's curling already. It doesn't have the weight either, so. I expect you'll see Newfoundland and Labrador try to loop another one in there now that there's some stuff to play with. Try to score 2, maybe even 3 if you do it well.
Yeah, we've seen this path a bunch of times now. Newfoundland seems to be coordinating this ice surface a little bit sharper right now than Ontario 2. But we're only 3 ends deep. Fourth being played right now, so that might be jumping the assumption gun a little fast.
We saw Parker Tibble make a pretty good come-around draw in the first end. So now that they've seen a few, see if they can get even a little bit more precise on that.
Ice looks narrow to me, but Parker Tibble settling into the hack here for his first stone of the fourth end. A come-around attempt as he delivers.
Just looking at that broom, I still think they could take a little bit more ice. They're only into just the edge of the 12-foot, just past the 8-foot there. And the way these are curling, I think you might need a bit more. They like the line, can get there. Do they have the legs?
Gotta drag it. Gotta drag it full 8 to get to your second counter. It's gonna pull up light.
Like what? A little more? Yeah. That's what I was giving closer. Yeah, I mean, when you feel like that, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. All right. Freeze? Yeah. Are we saying that? Yeah. Yes. I'm going to chuck it out there. Okay. That's the guy.
McTavish can lob one right to the button and lock it on. You can basically confirm that it'll be a force. I don't think he's got room to tap it anymore, and any tap and rolling open would be bad news.
Ontario 2's final stone here in the fourth. Line looks good. Can't chip off though. Ooh, it's got to get the corner. No.
Just a little bounce. It was about a foot heavy from being really good. Just. I don't. It looks like the red is still shot. You can see Parker Tibble just kind of play a heavy draw. Just try to move it a little bit.
Definitely no shot for 3. And 4-1 if you're Team Ontario 2, even if Newfoundland does make this. 4-1 is not insurmountable.
And if you weren't already a curling fan with this other game on TV, but it's our pleasure to report that Rachel Homan, Team Canada at the BKT Tire World Championship in Sydney, Nova Scotia, has been victorious, dethroning the Swiss Miss of Silvana Tirinzoni and Alina Petz. They've been on one heck of a roll lately, and Team Homan is victorious. World Championship for Canada.
Congratulations, Rachel. None more deserving this week, all season long, just dominant.
And Tracy Fleury, that's her first one, and Emma Miskew and Sarah Wilkes all contributing to that one.
Yeah, out of the Ottawa Curling Club, they'll have to find some room for that banner. Stick around for second shot.
Makes the hit and the roll, and I think it's just good enough for 2.
You betcha. Newfoundland Labrador lead by 2, 4-1, or 3. They lead by 3, 4-1 the score. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
Math is hard.
Oh, man.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Newfoundland and Labrador throwing in reverse. Replay. No, there we go. We're back live now at the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships from the Suncor Community Leisure Centre at McDonald Island Park, an impressive facility here in northern Alberta, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our feature broadcast. Newfoundland leads Ontario 2, 4-1 the score, and Andrew Denny and Brian Chick on the mic, bringing you this broadcast.
Well, we saw Ontario almost make the perfect freeze to get the force, but just that little chip off was enough wiggle room for Newfoundland's Parker Tibble to get the hit and stick around.
Corner guard going up now for Ontario 2 as they have Hammer here in the 5th. Taking care of taking care of lead stones here is Liam Quinlan for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Okay, go right here. We're going to go home. Yeah, but it can't be a guard. Just go wing. I don't care where you go. Just go wing. Just go wing, guys.
They were looking for the center guard. This one a little bit heavy, over curls a bit. Not a bad result though. It kind of chokes off the access to that, to make use of that corner yellow guard.
Yeah, I don't mind that shot at all. It's obviously not as good as a center line guard, but definitely not going to cry over it. Seems like Ontario 2 is going to throw a corner guard here and make use of that 5 rock free guards. Oh, I'm losing my mind today, Brian.
It's not your best work, I'll tell you.
No, it sure ain't. My corporeal vessel has been left soulless by all this fine curling action.
This is the 3rd week in a row of broadcasting action for Mr. Denny here, so I think his mouth is getting a bit tired.
I'm a very sleepy man, Brian. We flew 3,300 kilometers yesterday to bring you this broadcast, and, well, no rest for the wicked, and wicked I do be.
So Ontario with their 2 corners up, and you'll see Newfoundland and Labrador just kind of ignore that and keep piling rocks towards the middle of the sheet, trying to cover that rock on the button.
Kinsella's first.
Is it over? It's not over. It's not over. You gotta be good. It's not over. Okay, you're fine.
Yeah, he'll pull the string on that one. Change up in the dirt.
Overthrew his first one, or sorry, no, that was it's Liam who overthrew the first one, so his second one rather. So I'm just trying to figure out the ice here.
Yeah, only the 5th end here of our opening day at the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships. Nathan Kim now. He's looking to respond with his first. Crosses low, shooter spills, the redstone does leave the house, but it'll stick around, biting the back line.
Kind of decision time here for Newfoundland Labrador. Do they want to play defense or offense? And you can tell by the posture next to the corner guard that they're going to peel it, and that would mean defense. Just make sure there's no rocks in play, nothing that they can get them into any trouble.
Single peel fine in this spot. You might get 2 if you're lucky. That's a good angle there.
Got the one for sure, and the second one
stuffed it, replaces the color of that corner guard, however, so I'd rather it be my guard than my opposition's.
I was just thinking that.
Great shot.
McTavish trying to make use of that corner, try to go in behind.
Definitely Ontario 2's best crack at a deuce here in the 5th. Kim second.
Nathan Kim looked like he just got that started a little bit. That was curling right out of his hand.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The younger curlers, this being a U21 event, they're usually a little more raw, and they'll let you know what they're feeling.
Yeah, the filters haven't been quite fully developed yet, and a little sometimes exasperated is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You don't want to send it in. Why don't you like going right here, but then you're playing behind the corner.
I am much older than them, and my filter still isn't fully developed.
I was going to say, I would never want to wear a microphone curling. I've done it a couple times, and it's never ended well for me.
Intern? Yeah. You got this, Vince.
Spencer Tipple now. That's a howitzer. Holy moly.
Again, just replaces the guard, but there's no more stagger, and it is still your rock. You can always use that later on to run back if necessary.
Ontario 2, they're going to have to figure out this line pretty quick. Yeah, wanted to cross a little further, but still gets rid of both.
I didn't mind wrap. I don't mind wrapping one in behind, but that's better run back in.
Mador now, his first.
Sometimes there's a slight difference between, obviously a big difference on the line of a attack for a righty and a lefty, but just a right-handed in-turn versus a right-handed out-turn versus a lefty in-turn will track a bit differently, so he's really conscious to get that back to the broom and throw the right weight, and he's rewarded. That's a great result.
Back line. Slow over Barry. I don't mind. I mean, the worst you do is you chase it if you hit the guard. The back line. Okay. Like even there, Spencer, then we get like where we shot too, right? If the hit the guard, it's fine.
You play back line, you take the guard, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, a lot of anywhere between plan A and plan E, really, on this shot. All sorts of options.
Sometimes the problem with that is that you have too many choices and you get stuck in between all of them. So it's better to have one in mind and try to go for that, knowing that you have a couple options.
Sweepers thought this one was big, and they're on it quick.
Roll that red in though. Roll that. Well, yeah. Tap it in.
Chap off the guard and touch the second red? Sure, why not? Let's bump it forward a shade. Shot stone remains yellow. Coach's interaction, or no, technical timeout.
What's up with Colson? Nathan? What's up with Colson? Hurt his finger maybe?
Looks like we've got a medical timeout here, just getting a Band-Aid for a blister or something. It's early in the week to be getting blisters, though. if you got them halfway through the first game, where you're going to be on Thursday or Friday.
What are you saying, Tyler? It's so technical, we can't talk. Okay. Dude, I think my first one was definitely line call, yeah? The one that I rolled out on.
There we go, glove back on. Another layer between that and the wound.
All right, back in action. Mador going to take a crack at hitting the red on the left. Try to get that junior deuce back in action. Spread out your shots and hope there's no double.
over curls, touches both Newfoundland and Labrador stones. He'll lose them both.
The reds go and the yellows stay, so that's mission number 1 accomplished. And he actually rolled to a pretty good spot in that the double is still very difficult because of the angle. It's almost on that perfect 45 degree, which means it's pretty thin to make the in-off double, and it's too flat to make the, sorry, it's too steep to make the run-back double. Too flat to make the run-back double. Now I'm losing it.
We're just getting started here in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, so just tune in and watch two men lose their minds. That's okay. We'll be rotating a couple of different guests through the booth here this week as Tibble delivers his first here in the 5th. Thin catches one, jams at the back, and does lose the yellow stone at the side.
That was really thin, so they're trying to find the right sliver, and it just wasn't quite there.
Tough to hit that too thin.
Exactly. Ontario just looking to mirror this rock on the other side of the rings, somewhere near the tee line, and that'll make any hope of a double disappear. It will be physically impossible.
McTavish, his first here in the 5th. As he delivers.
I think so.
We got 3 sweepers going, trying to drag it that last few feet. They need a bite of the paint here, and they will not get it.
Yeah, you get style points for landing on the New Holland logo, but no points on the board, unfortunately.
Unforced error there from Ontario 2, and that'll leave a couple points on the board again.
They're close, Brian. They really are. They just need to get a little sharper and finish that execution out. It's tough. First day of a national championship, getting used to the ice, getting used to the nerves, getting used to the sensation. No picnic.
Tibble here looking to make a yellow go away. Would like to stay.
He may have been a little soft on that delivery.
Is he going to get any of it? Just a sliver, but not enough. So an unforced error right back, and Ontario just got a gift.
Yeah, just not a great throw there from Tibble. They fought tooth and nail to hold it, but that just never had a shot.
Curious choice to play that one inside out. I don't know if he prefers that turn or what, but I would have not been playing it that way.
No. Volunteer to help teach some of the under 2-year experience curlers at my local club, and I always say, if you can, play those hits inside out. Just more control, or outside in, apologies.
I think so.
Yeah, they tend to be a little more, run a little bit straighter, and the releases tend to be a lot cleaner that way too. Inside out can get a lot of things started. This one looks like it's got a little more steam behind it, and this will make it into the rings.
With the Three Musketeers sweeping, beautifully done there. A deuce on the board for Ontario 2. We'll head to the 5th end break. Run some ads, pay some bills, go grab a snack and a refreshing beverage. We'll be back in 5 to 7. Be cool.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Nutrient Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seat ahead.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers, here's how.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Team Newfoundland and Labrador, #1 lead Team Ontario #2 by a single here in our feature matchup at the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships, live from the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo. How about that for a mouthful? Tandra Denny and Brian Chick on the call for you on our feature match, which has been really back and forth so far.
Yeah, a couple of unforced errors back to back. One that looked like it was about to become a force or a blank end, and all of a sudden a deuce goes on the board for Ontario 2 after a miss from Newfoundland. So some opportunities going both ways, and the scoreboard just 1 point apart, 4-3 for Newfoundland at the moment. They have the hammer playing the sixth end.
All important in the even ends here, scheduled for 10 ends of play at these national championships. Lead stones now underway, and that's Liam Kinlan. Nope, that's Colson Flemington. I don't know why I thought Ontario was throwing red there, but I think I got tripped up by the uniforms and easily susceptible even on a good day.
Another center guard attempt slips into the house, which means Newfoundland is allowed to hit it based on the free guard zone, or the fact that it doesn't apply when a rock's in the house.
That's a straight rock. That's a straight rock. Yeah. Keep doing well. That's a straight rock.
Another rollout, and you hear them talking. Maybe that rock's running a little bit straighter. He said the throw was pretty good, but didn't curl like the other ones have been.
Could be. Might not be. Could be the spot. Could be how he threw it. Nathan Kim now for Team Ontario 2.
You're really close. You're on the cusp. You're in the house. You're on the cusp of it. Oh boy.
That was a big finish there.
It's not in. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. I think you don't.
Stop short of the house.
You think it's similar strength? Still let it walk? Yeah. Three hairs forward.
Newfoundland Labrador naturally going to make use of that stone. It was Jack Kinsella, his first.
As you said, off the opening, we will have a new national champion in both the men's and the women's side of this event this year, as the men's team that won last time aged out, so they're no longer eligible, and the women's team that won last year didn't make it back through their provincial championships, so we'll have a new name on the trophy.
Yeah, Johnson Tao, he was actually active at the Youth Sports Championships in Fredericton that just concluded, and they took home a bronze medal there. He aged out, and Team Mila Plett just couldn't quite squeeze all the way through a tough Alberta province, which naturally always has tons of good curlers. But they curled a ton this year, so maybe a rest for them. Not the worst thing at all. If you ask them, I guarantee you they would be pining to be here.
Kim looking for the soft weight come around takeout, just nicks the guard. Seems like it's the running theme of the day is just nicking that guard.
First game of the week, everybody will get there. You can see this, look at that late finish. Whew. It would eat most club curlers alive. Wide angle straight into the action here on Sheet C. I like that. That was fun. Felt like being on a roller coaster. Already into third stones here. Spencer Tibble taking care of that for Team Newfoundland and Labrador here in the sixth.
Kinsella looking to loop another one around that guard. Sliding a bit deep. Pretty buried, but behind the tee line is not where you want that one. You may see Ontario change gears here. You may not.
I don't hate the freeze in this spot. You're playing with fire without hammer, so yeah, this is safe.
So With that ice, probably looking for maybe a hack board weight. Just trying to get to the nose of that red.
Medor now, his first in the 6th.
Knew about halfway down they weren't getting by, so switch gears to try to make it curl. Make sure they got the guard out of the way.
Straight cut. 10-5. Okay. 10-5. I think we play 10.
Look for the hit and roll. Even the nose here wouldn't be bad. You don't necessarily want to cover the one in the back button, because then if they do make a perfect freeze, you are in a bind on how to get rid of it.
Now in this particular spot, throwing it inside out makes sense. Stay away from the jam a little bit easier. Context is king out here. In a good curling match, slight inside roll there. Yeah, you'll be happy with that result.
Yeah, I don't mind it there. I really prefer it out of the way as opposed to covering that rock. Like I said, that freeze is just the only thing that's going to derail your end is a perfect freeze behind cover, and then you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, so hard to execute those perfect freezes, though. Sometimes you got to take the risk, but only down 1 is Ontario 2. So no need to hit the panic switch just yet. It's Evan Medor, his 2nd.
Right on the nose.
Simple end here for Newfoundland and Labrador. If they can maintain this, it's just about making Yellowstones go away.
Ideally, stick around, too.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And try not to create a pocket. It's pretty close to nose. A little bit of a roll. I'd say that's fairly well done. They might make it double, but you're still going to be in pretty good shape to score 2.
Yeah, I don't mind giving up that double. Sure as that play stays to the wing there, keep you away from your 2nd shot.
No, just feel. They're not frozen.
Nope, plenty of space between those two. Quite lively are these stones as well. Tyler McTavish now, his 1st. Here in the 6th.
Looking for a double. They're calling for the curl, sailing a bit wide. Just over the top.
That's a missed opportunity there.
Just needed to curl up another inch or so. You might have clipped the back one on the way by.
I go right here. I like that.
Now the question is, where do you put the 3rd one so there is no double?
Unless you like going here, but let me get a draw. Yeah, I like you want to get there first. Yeah, I like that. You give him half too, right? Yeah. I just don't want to leave it free. I'm going to adjust my back tee. Just make sure you're like top forward. Yeah.
Got to be careful with this one.
You just don't want to put someone where you get a triple, right? Yes.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Don't put it anywhere where you can leave them a triple, and top 4 might be that spot. So
yeah.
I kind of like going to the wing on this one. Way out to either 12 foot, but they look like they're just going to try to tuck a piece on the tee line.
Yeah, they're talking about not leaving Ontario 2 that path for themselves, but it's such a short run back that should be manageable for Team Newfoundland and Labrador. Could be a good way to get 4 if you do that.
Yep.
If I'm coaching this team, it's going down in my notebook as a discussion point.
And the logic's correct on both. Don't get me wrong. It's just the upside for playing to the wing, in my opinion, seems better.
And then you're basically threatening Ontario. You're gambling. Say, hey, you got to make the perfect shot or I'm getting 4.
Yep, exactly.
Looks pretty good, but they do not want this deep.
It's got to stop.
Maybe 1 rock deep. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
No natural triple. Well,
no, the other
definitely makeable doubles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
because then if we miss it, we might be able to get that double. Yeah, for sure. Intern?
I don't know that Ontario would have thrown the draw no matter where this rock ended up. So he's looking to take on the double, and you might make it one of a couple of ways, and there is a miracle triple there if you get just lucky.
Is that good or a little less? If I throw it good. If I throw it good, we need a little less, right? Yeah, I'll give you that, yeah. Okay. You got it right. Yeah. Yeah.
McTavish looking for peel weight somewhere near the nose. Trying not to give up a 3 ball.
Yep.
Looks like he's close. And does he get the triple? Wow. So close to perfect, but actually leaves both reds hanging in the back of the house.
Oof. Man, that is some tough luck there. Impressive, even just to touch all 3, really.
Yeah. And if you hit this one and roll out, it's fun. I like playing it out.
That is some poor luck, because he threw it certainly well enough to make it, and to just redirect the red onto the other red and not get rid of either is just, that's a gut punch.
Tragic.
However, Newfoundland and Labrador still need to make this shot, which is essentially a nose hit, but they have to avoid the backing.
Yeah, you can't jam. Plenty of room to have it exit stage left. That's right on your screen. But
I think they're looking for closer to nose, try to stick it right back between the 2 reds.
yeah, many ways to make it. You just got to make sure you pick one and stick with it. Final stone here in 6. Newfoundland and Labrador looking for 3. That's every sweeper's favorite 5-letter words. He punches it up through the uprights.
The kick is good.
3 points on the board for Team Newfoundland Labrador. They lead 7-3. We'll go to the 7th after this.
Ag Solutions. Everything you need to win the season and go full seat ahead.
Newfoundland and Labrador post a big score, 3 in the 6th. They take a 7-3 lead here in our feature match of the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships. Live from the Suncor Community Leisure Center at McDonald Island Park here in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Andrew Denny and Brian Chick on the call for you. On behalf of Curling Canada Plus, thanks so much for tuning in. And hopefully lots of folks tuning in after Rachel Holman claiming the World Women's, the BKT Tires Championship out in Sydney, Nova Scotia for Team Canada. So welcome to all of our late bloomers, and hope you're enjoying the match here from Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo.
I don't know about you, but I frequently do both at the same time. If I got one game on the TV and another game on the laptop or the tablet or something, but impressive win there from Rachel. Seemed like they were the best team all week, and to dethrone Silvana Tirinzoni, Alina Patz, and the Swiss women, they've been on quite a run lately. Well done by Rachel, and also have to applaud the Swiss as just an absolute tremendous run that finally came to an end.
Yeah, the dynasty flags fly forever, so they can put that in their back pocket and be very proud of that one. Alas, there's a new queen, or 4 queens, I guess. Well, 5 if you think about it. I don't think Donnie Bartlett is a queen, but coaching that rink, he's a good guy. I'm sure he's very happy to be a world champion now.
Not the first time for him, but
no, definitely not.
Probably first time in women's, maybe.
That's Colson Flemington playing lead here for Team Ontario 2 out of the KW Granite in Waterloo.
Been there many times. A beautiful club that's right on the campus of the Sir Wilfrid Laurier University.
Brian Chick being a good Toronto boy. He's been around.
I've been to that club actually probably more than several others. It's the home to the Trillium Junior Curling Camp, where I've been on staff for many, many years, and the last dozen or so have been at the KW Granite.
Yeah, there's plenty of graduates of that curling camp that are now, well, world champions, Canadian champions, and
Rachel Holman was a camper once upon a time, as was Emma Miskey. They've both been on staff as well in recent years. Sarah Wilkes as well.
Yeah. Tracy may have gone to Amethyst Curling Camp.
I guarantee you she did.
Yeah. That one being in Northern Ontario.
That's also moved around a few years. It's been Sudbury, North Bay, Thunder Bay. I'm not sure where it lands this year, but
I believe North Bay. Don't quote me on that. I think Sarah Guy and Kira Brunton would have the answer to that one, so we can figure that one out with them after the broadcast.
Well, Ontario has their guards up, but Newfoundland has been piling them into the house. So right now those guards are in front of 3 red Newfoundland stones.
A lot of traffic here in the 7th. The Ontario stone bumps the Newfoundland stone and rolls away.
Throwing the 10-second, that nice control weight, a little like on the firm end of control. Trying to get across the nose and roll under those guards, or even just half a rock over would be good. Got the hit and the roll.
Nicely done there by Jack Kinsella.
Sitting 4, but now there's some shrapnel for Ontario to use.
They have hammer here in the 7th and an awful lot of centerline cards.
Yeah, that's the ultra aggressive play. You don't see that very often, but I kind of like it.
It's bold. Only down 4. It's 10 ends. I mean, yeah, the gap is there, but they're really, really going for it.
A little bit of extra weight here from what the call was. It's not terrible though. Kept some backing around. It is difficult, but not impossible to get get rid of it without losing everything else.
Here's Spencer Tipple here in the 7th, his first.
Top 4. I gave you a good point. Okay, I'm good. Whoa. Top 4. Yeah, wrong. Top 4. Whoa. Top 4. Clean. Whoa. Top 4. Curl. Dig. Come on, Jeff. That's good, Spence. Good throw, Spence.
Bumps the Ontario 2 stone just a smidge.
You don't normally see the team that's up 4 playing a lot of freezes around center guards, but when you've got now 5 rocks in the house and they're surrounding one lonely yellow, it's almost sometimes a little too juicy to pass up.
Yeah. Which 10 do you see? Normal, okay.
Just a reminder, we will have another game on following this one tonight at 9 p.m. local time. That'll be a women's game between Manitoba 2 and Ontario 2.
2 good teams there.
Just like several of the championships we've had lately, some provinces have more than one representative based on one provincial champion, and then usually the next highest ranked member association will have the opportunity to send a second team.
Yeah, host team always gets 2, and then depending on how you finished in this last year, and certain provinces and territories won't send a team, and that frees up a couple more spots.
Similar to the way wildcard teams are now in the Brier and the Scotties, where you'll have a few different reps from the same province, but only the provincial champions will be wearing that crest on the back or that heart-shaped patch across their chest.
Yeah, you got to earn those.
Sweeping hard for line, trying to get the short run back. Yellow goes, red stays, and that is a mess of reds for Ontario to deal with.
Nice shot there from Tipple. It was spring loaded, but still facing 5 is, doesn't feel good.
The insult to injury there was not only the short run was made, but the roll,
yeah,
kind of half tucked, almost frozen. That rock in the top 8 is probably not going too far. So you'll see McTavish and Evan here trying to take on the flat double on the T-line rocks. Sailing a bit wide though.
Noses. It'll stay right there.
Jack, you can carve it in too, right? Yeah, okay.
You heard another 10, the easy control weight. It's a nice weight because they seem like they can control, well, it's called control. They can manage that rock with their brushes. They can stop it from curling. They can help it curl with that carving motion. So that's why you throw it with a softer weight. You have a little more freedom to manipulate it with the brooms.
I'll bring you a nice positive. Oh, yeah. Go over again. Let's make it there.
So here's Parker Tipple settling into the hack here in the 7th end. He kicks and deals with his first.
10.
Nice. Calling the 10 weight. on it out of his hand early, trying to fight the curl. Contact, shifts the roll. Sits 5.
Yeah, may have punched that redstone just a little bit too far open, though. Don't want to under-roll, but you also don't want to over-roll as that rock bumps its friend across.
That's still pretty covered.
I shouldn't go through the hole. No, but this is still pretty bad.
It did expose the outer half of that, but I don't know that's the kind of freeze you want to take on against 5.
Especially with hammer.
That's a massive inch at this point. That's pretty thin. Looks like half, roll back in half.
Ontario's got to do something pretty special to get out of this jam.
It's looking precarious.
Either plays. Yeah, probably the out. Yeah. Which turn though? I don't really think. Yeah, let's play to that one. Let's like half a rock. I'll throw the out. There or what? Sure.
It looks like they're going to be coming off their own. It's not doing much out there other than acting as access, I suppose.
Yeah, perfect world. You go into the rock on the side of the button and kind of settle in behind those 3 staggered reds. But it's like not what you want to be throwing with hammer against 5.
No.
I mean, this is the spot I'm always riding, so I could just throw it straight and then I'll probably be fine.
But if you make it, well, then that's pretty good.
There's a couple ways to make it. He said he's looking for the chip off the button stone, coming with a lot of weight. Might kick up and you can get a second red. Holding it straight.
Holding it, catches it flush. Not much doing there, unfortunately. And man, if Newfoundland and Labrador and Tipple can ever make this hit and roll, it's not looking good here for Ontario too.
Well, Spence, I can never hit that in, right? Just play normal right here. No need to play the out. Yeah,
Looking good for a kind of flat roll here. The in turn, the clockwise turn here is going to spring less aggressively than the out turn would. As long as he can get across the nose of that, a little bit to the low side, he should be able to roll right in that pile, no problem.
Let's try to get it out, like the shooter. I'll give you middle. What are you throwing? Here. A little more.
May have changed his mind there. It might be hitting the outside, trying to roll out.
Okay. Either way, final stone for Team Newfoundland Labrador here in the 7th.
And that's the call. Hit, roll out, no harm done, and say good luck.
Yeah.
Try scoring now.
Back 4, back 8. Yeah. Was that like mid-12? Oh, gosh,
Ontario can still score here, though. They just got to make it perfect.
Back 4 weight max. Sneak by the guard in the top 8. Hit what you can see, and then plus an inch of that red rock on the button. Yeah, you might be able to get your one. Not impossible, but not easy.
A very low percentage shot.
Certainly curls enough.
Final stone in 7. Ontario 2 need perfection to score a single.
Line's pretty good if they can squeeze by the guard.
Ooh,
they
they're
do.
by.
And they nose it. What a shot.
Pretty wild. Single on the board for Ontario 2. They trail by 3. We'll go to the 8th after this.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Hey, Canada, come on into Montana's, where weekdays have turned into deal days. Why not check out our half-price wings every Monday, $5 tacos on Tuesdays, all-you-can-eat ribs Wednesdays, and drink deals every day, only at Montana's.
Newfoundland and Labrador lead by 3 here in our feature match at the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships, live at the Suncor Community Leisure Centre at McDonald Island Park here in Fort McMurray, Woodport, Buffalo, Alberta. Hello, everyone. Back now as we're resuming play here in the 8th. It's Andrew Denny and Brian Chick on the call for you on behalf of Curling Canada Plus. Thank you so much for tuning in, and whoa, man down. He seems okay. Yeah, just readjust that pretty close there. Nicely done.
That rock was almost coming to a stop anyway, so good sportsmanship there from Ontario to say that's where it was going to go.
Yeah, it happens. Either way, Newfoundland and Labrador had Team Ontario absolutely hemmed in for a steal, and well, Tyler McTavish says, well, I can make a pretty perfect shot for a single point, and lo and behold, he does.
Yeah, I think Parker Tippin, when go back and watch the game tape, because he did call a hit and roll in that would have taken that shot away. And then it seemed as though he changed his mind once he got in the hack, and he left the shot there, and Ontario made no mistake, which was a fantastic shot. Had to be absolutely perfect with line and weight. Snuck by the guard and got up to the nose of the shot stone, which was obviously not impossible, but it was certainly difficult.
Yeah, it really just demonstrates how much swing there is in this sheet. It's going to be a good week if shots like that are on the table. Liam Quinlan now, he's playing lead stones here. He doesn't seem terribly happy with what's going on here with his throw. Saying, hey, maybe we'll try and get a little curl out of this. It looks heavy from here. Chip off the guard. Free guard zone in play here, but yeah, very nice.
It spills into the house, and that's what Newfoundland's going to be looking for again. Multiple score, but not the shot they were looking for. I think he just got a little heavy, little wide, and got a chunk of that guard.
Team from the Remax Center St. John's Curling Club does have hammer here in the 8th. That's Nathan Kim now. His first.
All lines go. Straight. Line's good. Top. Straight. Top. Whoa, line's good.
Trying to carve one in here. Just draw weight right through the hole. This is a great shot. It's a hard spot to reach, but well done by Nathan Kim.
Back of the button on our New Holland logo there. Nose weight on that red stone biting the 8-foot will take care of business for Team Newfoundland and Labrador, however.
Definitely a makeable run back here. Almost a nose hit. We'll get rid of the yellow.
And that task will fall to Jack Kinsella now, his first.
Jack looking to just hit sliver high a nose. He's close. Bang, bang, and Bob's your uncle.
Rob is my father's brother.
Yeah. Not in my family. Bob's my dad.
Oh, okay.
He's my cousin's uncle.
6 degrees of separation everywhere. Kim now his second.
Looking for a similar shot around the guard between the reds to freeze or just tap the red on the button.
Keep going, keep going. Roll again, roll again.
Ends up chipping on that Newfoundland Labrador stone, stops flush in the 12.
That one didn't want to curl as much. It seemed like it was taking a similar path, and the weight was pretty close, but maybe just a little extra rotation. It didn't want to finish like the first one did.
Yeah, rocks won't bite as hard if they got any supplementary rotation. Looks like a scoreboard call here now for Team Newfoundland Labrador.
At no point in getting any extra risk in play when you're already up 3, and a score of a single or a deuce here goes a long way to putting this game out of reach.
Flash will end up hitting his own first and chipping the Ontario 2 stone over. Still spinning.
Not at all what they called, but a pretty decent result in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, not bad at all. And across, look at the rotation on that stone.
For that shooter just to kind of squirt through, totally buried. That's, in the biz we call that a little bit greasy.
Forever twirling towards freedom.
But as we were saying a few ends ago, sometimes luck matters. If you don't throw them perfectly, sometimes the curling gods giveth and taketh away.
Mador now his first.
Just a little bit too much weight for the little chip and roll they were calling. Didn't finish, didn't curl up quite as much as they wanted as a result.
Normal. What are you telling us?
Just a reminder, if you are joining us and missed the beginning of the broadcast, for the rest of the week starting tomorrow evening, we will have a secondary sheet D right next door, available for streaming on Curling Canada Plus. Unfortunately, the crew that is supposed to be here running that broadcast was snowed in getting out of the mixed doubles event in Fredericton, so they're a day late getting here, and we'll get that going for you tomorrow. So for now, we got one sheet, and for the rest of the week, starting tomorrow evening, we should have a second one for you.
Gonna need more screens. Ontario 2 without Hammer here in the 8th, but we've got a little momentum coming now.
If this doubles made, it really changes the complexion of the end.
I think they only called the roll, which I find a little bit baffling. Okay.
Better than it was, but Newfoundland should still have a chance to sit 2 here.
Right on the nose.
Just peel off the ball. You got this.
Couple of catchers if you hit this thing thin.
Coming in hot. Looking to take advantage of some of those catchers over there. Gonna go straight sideways. And too thick. Needed to hit that a hair thinner to take advantage of those catchers.
Spilled in Ontario 2 Stone, but it wasn't really hurting them back there since Newfoundland Labrador have hammer here in the 8th.
Maybe, yeah. That makes a double. Like, he's going to go after it with like a soft weight and roll over, and then you have to make a double. Is that good or no? Yeah, it's cards. Try to get to like, what? Yeah. Full top 8? Like, does it have to? Is like big shot, like super priority? Like, if you're up here, is that terrible? No, it's not. I think it's terrible. I think like right there is pretty good though. If we can get a shot, like just barely a shot. Okay. Yeah.
Looks like Ontario opting for the draw around the high guard, which, given the scoreboard and the stage of the game, I think is what you need to do. They're definitely playing the offensive style with a lot of draws, taps, freezes, and just hitting a wide open rock in the back 8 is not going to help you steal. So they need a steal here.
Yep, writing's on the wall.
Tiny bit more.
Tavish now, his first in the 8th.
Line looks really good, well past the guard, but this should walk right over if the weight is right.
Nice suit, good suit, good suit. Just like the slide.
And walk over it does, but they are not second shot. Or sorry, they are second shot, but they are not shot.
Yeah, that's the crux of that shot. If you're shot, Newfoundland's probably chasing. Instead, they're going to get a free look at basically a shot of their choosing.
Well, this one I don't agree with at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the logic is behind this. There we go. Jeff Tom's going to come out and straighten everybody out.
Yeah, that rock on the edge of the 12 is not hurting you at all. You throw it another one, sit second shot.
We just play the draw in here, don't we?
If we don't get there,
But then you have just on a draw to get your next shot. It will be a draw, right? I mean, we hit here and we don't hit that on the nose. We'll be line 2, so you're going to have to hit something anyways, right? I like the draw. Right? Anything that outcounts that, anything in the 8 foot should be just fine. Yep. Yep. You okay with that? I mean, I don't want to call a shot that you don't want to, but I mean, hitting that, I don't think we need to roll this way. He's got the double. He's line 2. I think we got a shot here to, yeah. It'll give you draw weight for your next shot. Give yourself lots of ice. Don't fiddle around with this. Make sure you got lots of ice.
Bunch of good advice there from Coach Jeff Thomas.
Concise, simple delivery of the message. I like it.
Yeah. That yellow on the edge of the 12 foot isn't doing you any harm. And you know that Ontario is going to throw a better draw on the next one and try to tuck a piece. If you ever hit that red and either Ontario hits and sits 2 or they throw a better draw, either way you're only getting 1. This is a good opportunity to generate a 2 and really put this game out of reach.
Tibble's just inching that broom in from the hack. He probably took a good half or 3/4 foot off it.
Well, you heard Coach Jeff Thomas say, don't screw around with the guards, or you don't have to get near that yellow. You just have to be second shot.
Well, that's it, right? 1 is fine in this spot. Oh, this can't over curl.
They're definitely hitting the yellow, but will they get a better bounce?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Who's third? Should we do it
That was almost what the coach called, but he did say, you don't have to get anywhere near those yellows. And I think, as you said, they kept pinching the broom a little bit more and a little bit more.
No need.
Yeah, sure. It's got to be second shot, yeah. You like the out? Yeah. Here, put the broom down real quick.
A nose hit might allow you to sit 3, 2 for sure.
Yeah, I can't tell who's third shot at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Control.
I might be tempted if I'm Ontario to actually try to throw that same draw again and get to the edge of the forefoot on the other side, behind those staggered rocks in the top 12.
Yeah, this is a shot to force. This isn't a shot to steal.
Yeah.
I don't know if the force is good enough.
Oh, he's curling a lot.
Well, rolls out.
Should still be a force, though. There's not an easy deuce anywhere.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it stinks to roll out, but at the same time, Newfoundland had the shot anyway, and it's a draw to the bite the forefoot. It should be fairly automatic at this point in the game.
Yeah, I think Ontario really should have taken on that draw, tried to steal, because either way, you're giving up the 1 here. You're going to be down 4 with 2 to play. It's not impossible, but I think the steal would have done more good.
Sisyphean in nature.
Sisyphean.
Man rolls stone uphill.
Oh, I know the story.
Never doubted you.
Sisyphus. I just don't use it as an adjective.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Final stone in 8. Newfoundland Labrador drawing for a single.
Anything better than 8 foot? Line is not an issue on this one. Quinlan and Kinsella just walking it right in.
Look at that thing finish. Single on the board for Newfoundland Labrador. They lead by 4. We'll bring in the 9th after this.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Kevin, who asked Janine from Home Hardware how to build a place to work. Or not work. Or Siobhan, who took Josh's advice and created a front yard worthy of this TV commercial. Or Eric and Sasha, who asked Julie how to reimagine their backyard so they could be more outdoorsy. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Team Newfoundland and Labrador lead by 4 in our feature match here at the 2024 New Holland Canadian Under-21 Curling Championships at the Suncor Community Leisure Centre at McDonald Island Park here in Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo. Hello, everyone. Andrew Denny and Brian Chick here for you on the broadcast. And a bit of a perplexing end there played in the 8th. And both teams just kind of a little wishy-washy on intent. And, well, either way, Newfoundland gets their single, and it looks like that end was played for it the whole way.
I felt Ontario started that end with a all-out steal kind of mentality. You saw them throwing draws and taps, and they were just leaving every rock in play because they knew that was how they were going to score. And then A little bit shocking for them not to take on that last final draw and going for the hit and stick instead. Even if they make the hit and stick, it would have been the same draw for Newfoundland, and it was always going to be 1 point on the board.
So with a large hill to climb here, and only 2 ends left to play inclusively. Well, we'll call it 2 ends minus 3 stones. They need 4 points to tie this thing up, but they'll have the shot here in the 9th with a hammer.
Bad luck for Ontario with that first guard going in that is not protected by the free guard zone, and thus you saw Newfoundland come up and just rip it.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Line's fine, guys. One's good. Just a one. Just a one. One. Carl? Gotta be on the 7. Yeah, that's it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey.
Nice adjustment there from Colson Flemington. He's taking care of the lead stones here for Team Ontario 2.
Again, Ontario calling the center guard with hammer is, again, I'm not against it, but because it's a little bit unorthodox, but I actually kind of enjoy that call. You end up playing, a lot of teams will throw those corner guards and then never use them.
That's a crime against curling.
And so they're going to throw the rocks that they feel is going to be more useful. The threat being, it can also help the other team.
Last time Ontario 2 did this was in the 7th, and they were lucky to have a shot for 1, to be honest. They made it, but it was only because Newfoundland and Labrador left it for them. Now, how's that for a tight guard? Not the intended resting place, but certainly a useful stone here for Newfoundland and Labrador.
They've got the long center guards, but who does that actually benefit? Normally that's a good thing for the team without hammer, but Ontario is going to try to make use of those.
Line's good. Hard, guys. Hard, Colson, take it. Colson. Keep going, both of you.
Line's pretty good, but I don't think it has the legs.
Yep, pulls up short.
Bye, Blaine. Plenty out. I like plenty out. Into the yellow. Okay, are we going for yellow? Just a single.
No more free guard zone in action, so these rocks are fair game. See them going after the top guard, just straight peel.
Kinsella, his second here in the 9th.
Curl.
No doubter. Called and made, nicely thrown. Gotta love those peels where you just light clean all the way down.
Good job, thanks. I cannot tell you what this side is doing. I mean, I would say so. Okay.
Nathan Kim now.
Pretty close. Pretty close. Just clean. Line's good. Line to roll. Okay, nice hit. Nice hit. All right, nice hit.
Ooh, actually ends up curling past. Slips to second shot behind the tee line.
You're playing that thing. What about yellow? You like this? Can you keep up? I like that. I like this. You clean up the front this way. I like that. I like that. You clean up the front. Hit it there. You get it in. Okay. The tail. I might get both. Yeah.
Looking to get rid of both those stones by hitting the red thin on the broom side.
You got this.
Spencer Tipple now. His first in the 9th.
Not quite thin enough, but just nudged the yellow on the way by. You had to hit that crazy thin, just kind of scraped the paint off the side, but anyway, better than it was. Rock's out of play.
We have to make it like in this spot. One? Yeah, one. This will help me get my end swing too. Where's perfect? Just fighting the center line? Yeah. Gotta be over. Nice and swing. Help me with my end swing as well. Yeah.
Mador now.
Just the one. Wait, good. 1, 2. Whoa. Is this the one? Got set. Sets. Coming down. It's clear. 2. No, never. Sets. Please. All right.
Guard is replaced.
Across the face. Just a single? Across the face. What? Across the face. Okay.
Let's see. Try to get the double peel. Hit the first one on the broom side, across the face of the second one.
Team without hammered, calling double peels down the center.
A bit unorthodox.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. But when you're up 4, it's a good way to stay out of trouble.
It does make sense if you can see the scoreboard, but if you're just tuning in and you didn't know what the score was, the Ontario team playing extra aggressive with those centerline guards, and Newfoundland trying to play defense, get rid of all the guards, doesn't matter where they are.
Mador's second here in the 9th.
Ontario trying to take advantage of that super wide red guard just to hang one on the edge of the 12-foot. Looks like this one's a bit spicy though.
No, it's not in.
Right out the back.
No man's land. Dead buried though. Little consolation, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just 10. Just on an hour, you're fine, yeah. Ten, Jeff. Yep, let's do it like
Just make this one go away if you're Team Newfoundland Labrador. Probably rolling out too, realistically.
Rolling out wouldn't be terrible. You really don't want to leave it right there, though. You don't want to hit it on the nose. That'll leave a little pocket for Ontario to take advantage of.
Beaked it.
Yeah, so you'll see probably a corner freeze right where that broom is.
freeze it on so thin.
So if he does hit, that'll be redirected onto the other catcher.
I think even if you bump it back, you're just going to send it through the middle. Yeah, but it's pretty hard. Even if he loses. Like we tap it like an inch and sit there. Yeah. Okay. Have like an inch. Yeah. Just think what? Even if we're... You say you're coming this way? Even if we're there, you can probably still get to it pretty... You still get into it. It just goes like here and I don't know. Yeah. The triples we got. Yeah, I like this. Yeah.
No doubt, that's the shot.
Price. If you freeze it on. A little more than. I was gonna say we want a little bit more. Actually, that's not bad. Yeah. It's a lot of ice cream too. It's gotta be. Unless you freeze it on the other. Freeze on this one. Yeah, like we gotta put like an inch. Okay.
Looking for a T-line draw here, so we'll put the stopwatch on it. If I can get it out fast enough.
McTavish is first.
Jump it if you can. All you guys.
Got a 15.5 hog to hog.
Should be close.
Looks like we're just over curling a little bit. The line weight was pretty good, just tight on the line.
Never looked like enough ice.
And this will be another make it go away. You don't even have to stick around here. Just get rid of that yellow somehow. You don't even mind if Ontario takes their one. Up 3 with hammers, never a bad place to be. Again, taking this on inside out. I don't know if that's something that's just a personal preference or a team thing.
Let's do it.
Make it go away. Final stone for Team Newfoundland and Labrador here in the 9th. Good enough.
Yeah. Sometimes good enough is good enough, and in this case, that is certainly the good enough.
Good enough it is.
Sure. Are you going to tell? No, just feel. Because if we get one, it's fine. I guess if we're going to play it, I might as well throw weight at it and try to make the shot, right? Sure. You like into it? Yeah.
Okay. Appears that Ontario's discussing the peel weight double and roll out. Because they'd rather be down 4 with than down 3 without.
It's dire straits no matter how you painted both those situations.
Yeah, not ideal either way, but I have a feeling that this shot is maybe technically there, but not made a whole lot. Probably about a third of the rock on the right.
Final stone in 9. Didn't look too thrilled with the result. Maybe on the nose. Steal a 1 on the board for Newfoundland and Labrador. They lead by 5. They said they were trying to get the blank there. We'll see if we'll play 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like we're going to play a 10th. We'll be back after this.
I just dumped it again. Yeah.
When I think New Holland, the first word that would come to my mind, I would think success. I think without it, for me, the success isn't there.
Whenever you deal with somebody so long and they take care of you, you remember that.
New Holland builds products that will continue to evolve and make the farmer more efficient, that can produce food for the world.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Welcome back to Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, Alberta, for the New Holland Canadian U21 Championship. My name's Brian Chick. We were joined earlier by Andrew Denny, who has now gone on to other media duties, so you get to listen to me for the next 15 minutes or less as we're approaching the 10th and final end of this matchup between Ontario 2 and Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador leading 9-4. And just throwing those lead rocks away, they do not want anything in play that Ontario could possibly play with. This used to be a much more common occurrence until the 5-rock free guard zone came around, in which case you just kept seeing teams throw rocks away while the other team built their end. And now you won't see it unless the lead is at least 3, sometimes 4. But with a 5-rock lead, it's a no-brainer.
Pretty close. Pretty close to the same. Whoa! Where are we? We're all past the brush. Yeah. Okay, bring it here then. Bring it here then. Right here. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, good. Oh. Okay.
One more rock being thrown away, and after this you will see 5 more peels. Probably not even 5.
I got it. You're good. You're good.
Yellow will need to score 5 points, so as soon as that is mathematically impossible, there'll be handshakes.
So let's go over here. Check. We're behind the center? Behind the center. Perfect. Okay. Medium kick. Medium ones. Yeah.
Frequently, you would see a team down 5 potentially shake hands and concede the win, but at this stage of the week, I think Ontario's just trying to get a few more reps in on this championship ice and learn what they can. And who knows, maybe they make a few shots and get a couple breaks and manage to pull it off.
Whoa, Colson, whoa. Whoa. It's overturned. Yeah. Nice shot. Yeah, nice shot.
As expected, Newfoundland immediately goes on the defense. Jack and Sella throwing the peel. If you hit it thin enough, you might be able to get 2. Just 1, but they only need 1 at a time here.
I caught that. I'll throw it up there, Terry. 1, 2. Jump it!
Nathan Kim's second. This has some work to do. They gotta drag it a long way. Either maybe a pick or a soft throw, but either way, that is not gonna help your cause when you're trying to score 5. Spencer Tipple here, just trying to make a yellow disappear.
Clean.
They're debating if it is mathematically possible. At this point, it still is, but somehow they have to get that guard in the house as well to score. So they'll make Newfoundland and Labrador throw at least 1 more.
Let's make this one. You're good, bud. You got it. Put it away, if anything. Top 3. Points game. Top 3, top 4. That's the sign pass. Go back 8, back 12. Yeah, then back. That's what you want it. It looks like back 4, back 8. All right, make sure it's here. Make sure it's here. We're there. Okay. Oh my God.
Sliding a little bit deep, and if this one does not stick around, that should be your ball game.
I don't know if you can get that in. Yeah, I don't think you can get that in, yeah.
There's handshakes for you. So those will be X's on the board for the 10th end. That is Newfoundland's Parker Tipple taking the first win of the week, 9-4 over Ontario 2. We'll be back for another game tonight at 9 p.m. Alberta time. We'll see you for Manitoba 2 versus Ontario 2 in the women's draw, and we'll catch you shortly. Have a good night.